I've decided that I'm not really gonna do TBRs. I'm just gonna do like not necessarily mood reading, but I think I'm gonna do like books that I hope to get to in a month. So like this will be for July, obviously. But yeah, so I've already finished one book, but I'll save talking about that for the wrap up. But yeah, I'm not really gonna do a TBR. I'm just gonna do like, I hope I get to these. I need to catch up on some arcs, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, that and this library book that I have here. So the first book, this is Nyx, if you haven't met her already. She has to be in every video. I think there's only a couple she's not in. She's making biscuits. Anyway, the first book I want to talk about is Sea of Kings by Melissa Hope. I have a lot to catch up on, so this is going to be a long video. The first book is Sea of Kings by Melissa Hope. This is a middle grade book, and I believe, like, obviously, like, it has kind of a pirate theme, so, like, do with that what you will. I think this is like a typical middle grade book, like something happens to the parents and the kids have to, I think it's two brothers, like an older brother and like a little brother, and they have to like figure out how to rescue mom and dad and like have this crazy wild adventure all along the way. So that should be really cute. And when I finally do get to it, when I finally finish a couple of these other books that I've been reading lately, when I finally get to that, it should be a really quick, fun read. And the next book is a women's fiction, I guess would be the genre. So that is Finding Home by Kate Field. I believe it's like set in the seaside in like North Carolina, or like along, you know, the eastern seaboard. Like either the Carolinas or like maybe Maine or Massachusetts, like somewhere along there. So that should be pretty cute, kind of fun read. I want to like give the genre another chance because I've read a couple books in like the women's fiction or like the literary fiction genre, and sometimes I like them and sometimes I'm just like not into it, and I'm not sure if that's just because I'm not in that kind of mood and I'm trying to read it, or if it's just that I just don't care for that genre and I need to quit trying to read those. But yeah, I think it's been a while since I read the synopsis, but I think like the main character's mom is like older or maybe sick, and like she needs to go home and like be with her, and of course she falls in love while she's there, you know, that whole kind of thing. Or like maybe mom or grandma died and she has to go like close up the house and sell it, and she winds up falling in love. So these type of books really make me think of like the Hallmark Channel. Like they're kind of predictable usually. Maybe this one isn't, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, but like sometimes they're really predictable and they just make me think of like those Hallmark movies where you can like predict the plot. But I hope that this one is not like that. I really want to give it a good review. But yeah, the next one I'm I think about halfway into. I'm not sure because the way that it downloaded, I can't see like how much progress I have, but I looked at how many chapters there are, and there are like 40 or 41 chapters, and I'm at 21. So the next book I want to talk about is Duty and Desire by Anju Gattani. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. She actually very kindly sent me this book months ago, and I've been reading it since she sent it to me, but like with school finishing up and then like job stuff, I just haven't had time to finish it, and it wouldn't download to my Kindle, so I've been having to read it on my laptop, which is fine, but like I just don't think about it. It's like kind of out of sight, out of mind, and I really want to read it. I really want to finish it. She likened it to like Downton Abbey, but it's also like it definitely has like those Regency romance vibes, but it's actually set in like present day India, and the main character is named Sheetal, and she is forced into an arranged marriage even though she is in love with someone else, and the family and her new husband are crazy. Like, I have no idea what to expect, like what is coming next. Like, at first he seems like very abusive, and like he's starting to be, I don't want to say sweet because he's still not sweet, but like he's starting to like treat her like a human being. So I'm not sure what that's about, or if that's a type of abusive behavior that I'm not familiar with, because he started out so angry and mean, and now he's like being nice. So I'm not sure what that is, or if it's because if when her parents die, since he is married to Sheetal, he would get part of her estate and inheritance that she would get when her parents die. So maybe it's just purely about the money. I'm not sure. I really hope she winds up with the guy that she loves, and that he doesn't also turn out to be a jerk. But I am loving that book. It's kind of dark, but I really like reading about the drama and just a different culture that's so very different from my own. And I just love reading about the fashion. Like, the clothes that she gets to wear are just beautiful, and I love reading about them. The next book I want to read is, or I started it and I need to finish it. Same case scenario. It was sent to me about the same time Anju sent me her book. This one is Antipodes by T.S. Simons. It's really good. It's set in Australia, and it's kind of, I think it's like kind of a post-apocalyptic kind of book. And the main character's girlfriend goes missing, and so he has to like figure out where she is and like what happened to her and if she's okay or not. But it's like post-apocalyptic, so the people that are okay, like that survived it, they're trying to live super sustainable lifestyles, which I think is really interesting. And this is actually a series, so this is the first book in the series. So if I enjoy it, you know, I have more books to read. So excited for that. I just need to finish up some of these other ones and get around to that. The next one is The Silent Suspect by Nell Pattison. I read their second book back in November, I think, and I really liked it. So The Silent Suspect is the third book in the series so far, and I'm super excited to read it. The main character is an ASL interpreter who kind of does freelance, but like also like gets jobs with the local police department. Or sorry, it's not ASL. It would actually be, I think, British Sign Language, since it's set in England. My bad. But I'm super excited to read this third book. I really liked the second book. I did not expect it to be the person that it was that wound up like being the murderer. Like, I didn't see that coming. So like it was kind of all over the place, because the witnesses and the people that they were interviewing were lying, and it was very hard to tell, which I found really interesting. Like, it doesn't seem like it would be any easier to lie in sign language than it is when you're speaking, but I guess maybe your tells would be a little bit different, and like if the interpreter didn't actually like know that person really well, then they wouldn't like pick up on those tells. And obviously like there's a language barrier between the police officers and the people who have a need to sign, so they don't know. And then like, yeah, so but I really liked the main character. I cannot remember her name. I think it's Jen. I really liked her. I thought they did a really good job explaining some of the problems when it comes to getting an interpreter for like that kind of situation where there's been like some sort of crime and you need an interpreter so that the hard of hearing or deaf person can explain what happened from their point of view. Or like if they're in the hospital, like it's very difficult to get an interpreter. Sometimes it can be days before an interpreter is found, and they can like really communicate really well about what's wrong and their pain level and everything. So I'm super excited to read the third book. So I'm interested to find out if the silent suspect is guilty or not guilty. Yeah. The next one that I want to talk about is Aria's Traveling Bookshop by Rebecca Raisin. It looked like a really cute book, and I love books about bookshops. I hope I really like it. From what I think what I read is that the main character has a bookmobile, and so she just kind of like drives around. I'm not sure if it's for a library or if it's just her own thing. And she just drives around and like helps people find books and happiness, and it just sounded really, really cute. So I picked it up. And the last arc is Maiden Voyages, but I think it's Sian. It's Sian, but the A has like a little thing. So I think it's Sian, but I'm not sure. So someone please let me know how to say that name if you know. But that one is a book that comes out in August, and it's about women who traveled or worked for different like ocean liners, and what that was like how it was to work on them, how it was to travel on them. I think that the person who sent it to me, like the person who works for the publishing company, she said there's like part of the book is about the woman who survived not one but 3 different shipwrecks. She survived somehow, and I forget what her name is. It's not Molly Brown, that it's somebody else, and she survived 3 different shipwrecks. So I'm excited to read about that. The next book that I hope I get to in July is The Midnight Library. I've heard so many mixed reviews about this. A lot of people seem to love it, but then I've recently been hearing that it's overrated. So basically this is a book that has like a super weird, like non-linear timeline, because it's kind of, from what I understand, like you have this choice to go into like different lives, like different versions of your own life, and like change it, which sounds really interesting to me, but it potentially really sad. Like someone told me this is really sad, so I'm like, great. I don't often like sad books, but it's super short, so I hope that I enjoy it. If I don't, then I guess I'll just DNF it and like pick something else up. But those are all of the books that I hope to get to in July. Yeah, so that's a lot, but we'll see how it goes. Some of them you might see in August, so bear with me. But that is all for today, so hopefully, yeah, you'll see me in the next one. So see ya.